on Twitch, and I have to test the audio on Twitch and see if we have audio on Twitch. And we do. Excellent. All right. And Dementia Radio now and recording in 3, 2, 1.
Recorded live on DementiaRadio.org, it's the Funny Music Podcast. Brought to you by FuMP.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
Hey, Devo Spice.
Hey, Luke Ski.
We have on the show this week Kang the Conqueror and Kang the Conqueror.
It's everybody.
Everybody.
They could totally recast both of you as Kang, and I would be all on board for that. So let's go. Let's do that.
Like Jonathan Majors is canceled, huh?
Yeah, he's not doing so well from what I understand. I mean, we're gonna wait to see how this whole thing shakes out, but maybe they defeated Kang before he was a real threat. Who knows?
Yeah.
So, welcome to episode 670 of the Funny Music Podcast. The title of this week's episode is A Windy Boast, and I will put that in the chat, and your task this evening is to try to work that into our conversations somehow. Marian Rosin, unfortunately, will not be joining us this evening as she, ironically, suffered a loss in the family and didn't really want to talk about a song about grieving while she was actually grieving. So we were like, yep, sit this one out. You're good. So our thoughts go out to her. So, Adam and Rand, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having us.
It's good to be here.
It's always great to talk to you guys. And Luke is still here, so let's do the catch-up thing.
Let's get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke failed and didn't show up.
Hey, what?
Oh, he's right.
So, Luke, what you been up to? Ooh, wait, whoops, wrong screen. There we go. Hi, Luke, what you been up to?
Well, for those of you keeping score at home, last week it was COVID. This week it's colonoscopy, and starting on May 1st is jury duty. So I'm doing just great. I got past the whole COVID thingy. I took a couple of tests on Saturday, and they both came back negative, and I was generally, past all the didn't have a fever anymore, didn't have any of the symptoms. I still have a little bit of a cough and some phlegmy stuff happening, but
yeah, that's going to take a while to go away.
Yeah. So,
is this your first time through COVID?
Yeah, it took 3 years for it to finally catch up to me. I had to go to a place in San Diego with 41,000 people at it for it to finally, zero in and destroy me.
Playing the odds.
Yeah, I was going to say, that'll do it. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think I'm basically the last person I know of who hadn't gotten COVID at least once, by now. But anyway,
I haven't gotten it.
Yeah.
Oh,
me neither.
Oh, nice.
So there's two people that that haven't gotten it. So,
well, maybe COVID just doesn't travel that far north. Where
it's cold up there.
Yeah.
It doesn't like
the
the
cold kills it. Sure.
But what was the other thing? Oh yeah, so tomorrow I'm having my first ever colonoscopy just because I'm of that age and it's all preventative and all that stuff. So I haven't had anything to eat today, and I've been drinking, the concoctions they want me to drink, and basically doing my best to be as near to the toilet as I can be at all times when I need to use that.
Yeah, so let's do a podcast.
Right.
Actually, he's on the toilet right now, so it all works out.
We did a song about that.
Oh, my.
But yeah, I am actually working on inking some art for Kyle. I have some other commission work to get done that I've been wanting to get done, but basically it's like, I'm going to get back from DreamHack and get down to this commission work. Oh, wait, now I have COVID. Okay, now COVID's going away. Oh, wait, now I got to prep for colonoscopy. It's like, ugh. I just want to sit and draw. So, anyway, what have you been up to?
Well, last Sunday was my wife's 50th birthday, so happy birthday, Jen. We didn't do anything major, just took her out to dinner for Sunday night with the family. That was fun. And then, was it last night? Yeah, it was last night. Darren had his third Honor Society induction ceremony. This one, the National English Honors Society. And I'm like, you speak English? No, I'm kidding. And so I'm like, how many honor societies are there? I mean, can't you get a C in something? Just come on, you know. But the rest of my week,
National Honor Society for Jim,
right? The rest of my week has been filled up with getting ready for RavenCon, which is this weekend in Virginia, and I will be heading down bright and early tomorrow morning. They are working me to death. I have 3 one-hour concerts this weekend, plus doing a song during opening ceremonies. And I bought a new projector, and because I'm using the... Long story short, I can't use my iPod Touch anymore because I can't get new videos onto it anymore. So I had to switch over to Darren's old iPad, which... hooking up to my projector was hit or miss, so I was like, fine, I bit the bullet, bought a new projector, which is really nice, but it's 1080p and all the videos are 640 by 480, so I spent the week, re-rendering as many of the videos as I could. I got about 15 of them up to 1080p, and then the rest of them are just going to have to... I managed to get a couple at 720 just because that's what they were. Some of them are up on my YouTube channel, so I was able to just pull them down. But over the course of the next year or so, I'm just going to be redoing and re-rendering a lot of these videos to get them up to 1080p so they look good on the screen. But for now, I was like, I just need to get these into, Keynote so that I can actually perform this weekend. So that's what I did last night.
That's a lot of Pete.
It is.
It's like when I've been, submitting the songs or my albums to Songcast, and they're like, we want your album art to be like
3,000, like 3,500 pixels by 3,500 pixels, I think is what they want.
The original art wasn't that many pixels. What the hell? It's like trying to find the largest art files I can so that when I, upscale them, I'm not losing, a lot of...
That's part of the reason why when I do the FuMP album art now, I do it at 12 inches by 12 inches at 300 dpi, so that if we ever decide to release anything on vinyl, we have the large artwork, but also because that's what Songcast wants for some reason. I don't know why they want that high-res a file, but yeah. So, anyway, Ookla, what have you guys been up to?
Well,
we obviously have a song that came out this week. We have another song that we're going to be hopefully finishing up next week.
Wednesday.
So we're hoping to have that up on the FuMP in May. So we're slowly but surely we're making new music. I'm redoing my kitchen.
I'm redoing our bathroom.
Yes. So there's that. Let's see. I don't think I've mentioned this before, but I've been for the last 6 or 7 years. I've been doing a comic book kind of review column for MajorSpoilers.com, and I kind of laid off the column a little bit of late, but I've been appearing on the Major Spoilers podcast pretty regularly this year. So cool.
Yeah, I don't think you mentioned that last time.
Comic books. Yeah, if you want to hear me talking about comic books, you can go to majorspoilers.com and check out their podcast.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm doing my hair that night.
All right, so give us a quick intro to this song you posted, and we will give it a listen.
Yeah. So this is a song. This is a Patreon reward for what's the name of our Patreon?
Well, actually, it was actually the Kickstarter.
Oh, Kickstarter
campaign reward. Julia Larson was kind and or foolish enough to fund us at a high enough level to unlock the custom villain song reward, and she requested that we do a song about Bill Cipher from Gravity Falls. And,
which Brandon and I both have watched some Mystery Falls, but not, definitely we had to dip pretty far into the Wikipedia well for Bill Cipher.
Yeah, well, I will say though, I mean, I've seen every episode and I'm a big fan, but it had been, 5 years ago, and it puts it on the other side of the pandemic warp. So, it was 5 years ago, but it felt like, 35 years ago.
Yeah, it was in the before time.
Exactly.
In the long ago.
Yes.
All right, so here is Bill Cipher by Ookla the Mock.
Yay!
Dipper, I'll be watching you. Stanford, my revenge is overdue. Stanley, once I get my hands on you. Eeny, meeny, miny, you. Top hat, lion monster, snappy dresser. Bow tie, equilateral aggressor. A massive throne of human agony. Eeny, meeny, miny, me. Isosceles monster. And temerarious. I'm always watching you, cause brain is hilarious. Isosceles monster. You're superfluous, there's nothing to discuss. I'm always watching you, cause brain is hilarious. My eye, do you know how long that takes to grow back? I'll reverse the functions of your face. Eye bats, Pyramid and we're Mageddon. I know that we'll meet again. I know that we'll meet again. Isosceles monster. I'm gregarious and multifarious. I'm always watching you, cause rain is hilarious. Isosceles monster. I'm nefarious and full of scariness. I'm always watching you, cause pain is hilarious. I'm always watching you, cause pain is hilarious. I'm always watching you, cause pain is hilarious. My time has come to burn. I invoke the ancient power that I may return.
So, Luke, I assume you've watched Gravity Falls?
Yes, I have.
I have not, so you're probably going to have to carry this interview.
Yeah, Gravity Falls, it's like, I kind of feel like this weird shift has happened, having at least partially to do with, the totally crappy people at Warner Brothers who have, pretty much literally destroyed, Cartoon Network. But, like, there was this whole kind of era of Cartoon Network that had all these amazing original shows, and I kind of feel like, meanwhile, over at, Disney Television, they just had this amazing run of shows that have these huge fan followings, and in a way, like, now Disney's kind of carrying that mantle of, like, interesting, original cartoons and stuff like that. So, because, you have Gravity Falls, you have Star versus the Forces of Evil, you have Amphibia, you have the Owl House. I mean, even shows like, Phineas and Ferb, and...
well, we are living in the golden age of tween characters experiencing light peril in parallel dimensions. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like, there are so many amazing shows that many of which you described that they have a similar vibe, and they're just so smart and fun, and they work as bite-sized episodes, but they also have these kind of larger stories that they're telling. It's pretty great.
Yeah. So musically, this is very cool. It sounds just like, traditional Ookla stuff. It's great to hear you guys back making new music again.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. Cause this, as you might imagine, this was, kind of this was done. It was a new process for Adam and I.
I'm sure. Yeah.
So our goal was exactly what our goal was, to make it sound like Ookla. Can we do that? So thank you.
Good to hear that we, at least you feel that we succeeded in that. We, since my stroke, I can't play guitar or piano anymore. So we went into the studio with really just sort of a skeleton track of Rand playing guitar and singing the song that we had written, and most of the guitars were done by Doug White, our,
Doug, Doug was a member of the band for many years. He owns a recording studio.
Nice.
And it's where we recorded our first 3 albums. This is how we met Doug. We built the 3 of us built the drum track together using a piece of software called Drum Loop HD, which I highly recommend.
Okay.
I believe Steve Gadd is actually playing the physical drums on this, although we didn't have him in the studio, but we had recordings of him hitting playing the loops. And then Doug recorded the bass with Adam and I over each shoulder. No, that note. We're singing him the part, and he did that. And then and Doug is so good that we did most of the guitar that way too. I mean, there were a couple of areas in the song where we wanted a specific scald on the guitar or whatever, where I took it and played it. But we're very happy to kind of just puppet master our way through it at this point. And that way, we're both.
And it was a very painless process. There was, no drummer whining, no, bass player that needed to be fed, it was really just very pleasant. We took, part of a day to record that song. It was,
and I was, Adam, I mean, obviously this was the first time that, Adam has, kind of done recorded vocals in the studio since his stroke as well. And I think, obviously your voice sounds great.
Yeah. And I was going to mention, like, painless. I was actually surprised. I was very pleasantly surprised by how good Adam's vocals sounded on this song.
Yeah. It's not like you can't tell that there's something different about my voice, but you can understand the words anyway. So that's
I mean, it sounds great.
It didn't take long. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, let me assure you guys, it wasn't like, it only took 17 hours for Adam to comp together that vocal track. He got in there and just, it was. I wouldn't say it took longer than it would have taken, before, really. I mean, if it was maybe a little, but
each time we tried to record a track, there was probably 1 or 2 times that we scrapped a track because I slurred something, that was, if I had now having, you always, when you take the song out of the recording studio, you hear it properly for the first time in your car on the way home. And I was like, boy, you can really tell I was slurring on some of those, particularly at the end of the song. It sounds like I have a lisp or something. And if I had to do over again, perhaps I would do it over again. But it's fine, No,
I think it sounds great, and I didn't notice any slurring. I was curious about your sense of timing and rhythm. Was that okay when you were recording, or is that still a little off?
Yeah, I noticed that less trying to do Ookla stuff. Ookla is a lot of really fast lyrics. When I try to sing our older songs, I can't do it because I can't keep up with the fast lyrics like I do. But my brain still works just as fast. So coming in to get a rhythm, it's usually not that problematic to get the timing right. Now I also sing a lot of barbershop, and I'm a bass, and barbershop bass is all about precision. And I'm not precise like I used to be to a certain extent, but I still do okay, you know.
Yeah, I would say the biggest change. I mean, obviously, Adam's not playing guitar or keyboards, and that's certainly a big change to our process. But I would say the biggest change really to what we're doing is that usually with us, we've really come to the point where I would say for the last, I don't know, almost 20 years really, the last decision we make is who sings what. And one of the reasons we did that was because that way we could put the song in the right key as opposed to the best key for me so I can sing it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So the right key for the song is a key that's really more for Adam's voice than Adam sings that song, and we don't really claim ownership of the songs, at least not as much as we used to. And so that was, what I mean by that is that it used to be I sang the high stuff and Adam sang the lower stuff. And that was kind of how we divided it. And I think, probably the biggest change to Ookla that the Stroke has had in terms of the final product is we're now making the decisions based on, Adam is singing the more legato parts and I'm singing the more staccato parts. You know what I mean? Like Adam's singing, I saw Solis Mons, and I'm saying, I'm gregarious and temerarious. I'm always watching you, or whatever. Like it's, I'm singing the more chewy parts, with the hard consonants and the more rhythmic challenging stuff. And it's also affecting the way we write because we're, the key we put it in has got to be so that the legato part has to be in Adam's range. You know what I mean? And so that's something we're having to think about that we never did before. But I think both this and I think the next song we're going to be recording next week, I think, are successful in sounding like Ookla songs melodically and rhythmically and sonically, while accounting for that.
Yeah, no, I think this definitely captures the Ookla sound. You did a great job with that. So kudos with the new process.
Good to hear. We're really hoping to be able to continue to produce some music. So that's been a question mark how we were going to go about that. But that we're trying a couple different things. So the song that we are working on next week is one. We used another producer that we have used in the past, our friend Jeff Thomas, that we went to college with, and he has done the instrumentation for the song that we're working on next week. So it's a different process than this one is, and it's
like Jeff. He produced our OOKLA album.
Okay.
And he also produced the songs Amora Adores Thor and Kind of the Conqueror for Versus Evil.
All right.
And what we did, what we did with Amora Adores Thor is what really made us want to work with him on this, because for that, we sent him a demo where it was just a strummed acoustic guitar and our vocal arrangement. And then he delivered, like what you hear when you listen to Amora Adores Thor is all Jeff. He just delivered that and said, put your vocals on it. And like such an incredible arrangement, all sorts of interesting parts that were all him. And we did the same thing with this. The next song we're doing is Invader Zim is the villain, if you will.
Okay.
And we did the same thing where I just sent him. It's just I think I may have there's like an acoustic rhythm guitar, and I did like some lead work on it, and then put vocals on it and sent it out to him. And and Jeff, he completely ignored my lead work, which I'm happy with, because because we had kind of told him, we're like, do what you like, and really the only notes we gave him were kind of They Might Be Giants weird and a little kind of early XTC or whatever, and he really delivered that. Like it's very XTC sounding, and there's a breakdown in the middle that's very kind of early They Might Be Giants, and so our influences are pretty apparent on this one.
Yeah, he recorded that one. The keyboard is done on like an 808, like an old timey
nice
real synthesizer, programmable synthesizer. One of the first MIDI machines. Yeah,
it's a lot of fun. And again, I would say, I was really happy with how Bill Cipher came out. Like, but like when we were first working on these songs, just at the writing stage, when it was just like the lyrics, the melody, or even really just the melody and the chords, I was more excited about Zim, melodically. But I mean, Bill Cipher came out so great. I was like, oh man, I'm so happy with that. And so, I'm still hopeful that that Zim is going to turn out, as good as Bill Cipher did. So we will find out.
They're different types of tunes, but I feel like both were successful.
Yeah, one thing like that Jeff did, and again, it's weird that we'll be back in a month to talk about this probably a little more, but with Zim, like the demo that Adam and I had kind of delivered, that we delivered to Jeff, was at a much faster tempo than the song that Jeff actually returned to us. And
so, interesting. Okay.
Well, because the vibe he created, and he's absolutely right, the vibe he created works at the tempo he's creating, but it's still like when you listen to it, it still feels like the melody feels slower than I want to hear it in my head, But again, this is one of the things about working with a producer as opposed to an engineer, is that when you work with a producer, you're basically saying, we want your,
better than us.
Yeah, well, we didn't, like, we were worried, like the song forms of Zim and Bill Cipher we wrote them, at the same time. And the song forms were similar, even though, melodically and chordally they're different. We were concerned that if we did them and watched them with Doug, that they would end up sounding too similar. And so we're like, let's send this one to another producer and kind of get out of the way of it. And so it definitely is different. I mean, it's like, it should not be, like no one is going to think that these two songs are similar, which is what we were looking for. So we can't complain, Plus, Invader Zim, come on.
Yeah.
I mean,
When we wrote these songs, and this is a kind of a different process of writing for us as well, because, most of our songs in the past have been an idea that we've come up with that informs what the chorus of the song is going to be. Not like, we've always said it's not that you write a song about Will Riker from Next Generation. You write a song about how there are no bathrooms on the Enterprise, and so that's why Will Riker seems to gain 10 pounds every season. So we always have an idea that informs the song. So the chorus of the song isn't, Will Riker, it isn't just the guy's name over and over again. It's, there are no bathrooms on the Enterprise is the chorus of most of our songs. So these songs, the ideas that the people suggested on the Kickstarter are like, write a song about this character. So, we wound up writing songs where the chorus is the character's name over and over again, and the verses are a bunch of things about that character, things that they said, kind of thing. That's why, with Invader Zim, that we had an idea of what we wanted the song to be about, other than just that it's about Invader Zim.
It's definitely, Invader Zim feels like a Ran and Adam tape song to me lyrically. You know what I mean? Because before, when we did our first recording, we had there were 16 really nerdy songs, but we certainly hadn't heard of Filk, and we hadn't really discovered fandom in any, as an outlet for, as a place where we would find fans of our music, And so the idea was that we're going to write, love songs, or we're going to write songs that kind of conform to the lyrical conventions of pop songs, but we're just going to reference a lot of really nerdy stuff,
right?
And that, and then the moment we discovered Filk, it's like, we're going to write a song about Aquaman. The main character of this song is Mr. Warp. You know what I mean? It's, and it's, and we started doing that. And, Zim is kind of like a throwback in that it's kind of like, it's about Zim, but it's kind of like a metaphor as well, like a romantic metaphor. And it definitely feels like the kind of song we would have written in 1992.
Nice.
You know what I mean? So hopefully better from 30 years of songwriting.
We can talk about this when that song comes along, but like doing that kind of song for Zim to me kind of makes sense, because he's all about, I am Zim! Zim is me! Saul, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
good.
Yeah.
In the verse in that song, we do sing his name quite a few times. Bill Cipher.
Vader's Zim just sings well.
We're really lucky to come across, at some point. Who is it in the series ran that calls Bill Cipher an isosceles monster?
Oh, yeah, I don't remember. I just remember that was a phrase that we encountered.
It's very fortunate that we, came across that, because that makes a much better chorus than Bill Cipher. We go with that.
Yes.
All right, yeah, well, I'm looking forward to the Invader Zim song. Do you guys have anything you'd like to plug?
Yeah, you know what? What we should be plugging is our go to needlejuicerecords.com/Ookla the Mock to get your 180 gram vinyl of Versus Evil or Nerdvana on colored vinyl, and they are currently on sale. If you go to needlejuicerecords.com/Ookla the Mock, you can get Ookla the Mock Versus Evil, either of the vinyl. It's a gatefold sleeve with art on both sides of the gatefold, so all four sides with art by Art Baltazar. Has a lyric insert, and you can get it for $15. It's currently on sale.
Wow,
and
nice.
It's a beautiful piece of vinyl. I own that, but I don't even own a record player, so.
I got a whole bunch of them on the floor behind me that Jay sent me to sell. So
I should also, something I don't know that we mentioned this enough is that you go to our Bandcamp page, which I can never get this right. Yeah, it's ooklathemock.bandcamp.com. There is, we have an album called Lukewarm that is a rarities collection that came out about a year ago. And it is it's Bandcamp exclusive right now. So the only way you can get a hold of this is through Bandcamp. And we're talking about perhaps releasing, like, this is kind of like the deluxe version of it. It's got a lot of tracks. We may kind of reduce that to an EP and release it commercially. But the only way you're going to get the only way you can get any of it right now is through Bandcamp. But certainly, if we ever do release it commercially, it'll probably be about half the length that it is right now. So.
I have purchased the Lukewarm album, and I enjoy it very much.
Well, thank you. Yes,
well,
and it does have your name on it.
Our original idea with Lukewarm, when we had that idea years ago, was to have Luke, pose as Luke Skywalker and have, Randy Han, and I would be the Wampa or something. But we wound up doing Legos instead for the cover of that one.
Yeah, so I should say for the cover of that, if you've seen it, that we did purchase all those Legos and Adam arranged them meticulously, for the cover shoot. So, like, that's not a found photo. That's something that we actually, we own that. So
nice.
God bless Adam.
Yeah, those are like, the Tauntaun was like 7 pieces to put it together. They were not there actually is a Hoth Lego playset that's a lot more involved than that one was, but it was too expensive, so we got the cheap one.
Understandable. All right, so we're going to move on to news and the other song for this week. Are you guys going to stick around, or are you taking off?
I would love it if I could take off, but I didn't know that was an option. So that would make my life really, really good. So
we're not holding you hostage here. You're free to go.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
That. Take care, guys. Thanks a lot. See you in a month.
Right.
Thanks for coming on. Catch you next time.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Later.
This is the FuMP.
Boast.
Inclusion over isolation.
It's all about democracy. ABC, exposing the GOP. Yeah!
See a couple of dogs with more love than they have got. When they see us holding hands, they wish that they were geeks in love. And when they hear our favorite bands, they wish that they were geeks in
The Funny Music Project at thefump.com. THEFUMP.com.
Oh, the big 5-0. It hits you like a bomb. Your libido is waning and your memory is gone. You can well not say goodbye to get up and go. Howdy do, welcome to the big 5-0.
Time for funny music news. Something.
In the news, the Logan Whitehurst IndieGoGo campaign is up to $13,750 of its $21,000 goal. They have 4 days left, so they are still a ways to go, but there is still time to get involved. Go to igg.me/@/yourfriendlogan, or just go to IndieGoGo.com and search for Your Friend Logan to help them out. Napoleon XIV's unreleased second album is now available for pre-order over at Needle Juice Records. The name of the album is For God's Sake, Stop the Feces. This will be available on 180-gram vinyl with gatefold jacket with a lyric insert and cover art by Kendra Shepard. It is a double LP that contains the main album on disc 1 and a collection of later songs on disc 2. The design is toilet-splattered vinyl. Yum. It also features liner notes by Dr. Demento and Weird Al Yankovic, and song commentary notes by Jerry Samuels. And you will also get a download card. So visit needlejuicerecords.com to pre-order that. And while you're there, you can also pre-order the Conducted Tom Lehrer. This contains Tom Lehrer's orchestral recordings and songs from the Electric Company, including a previously unreleased song called Trees. Also includes a lyric insert and is available in 3 options, including Tie on Fire LP, which is white with black butterfly effects, the Yellow Album, which is yellow, and Peanuts Coated with Cyanide, which is beige vinyl with neon green splatter. This also features liner notes by Dr. Demento and is also available on CD and cassette. They also have available a 7-inch tricolor vinyl of That's Mathematics, back with I Got It from Agnes, all available at needlejuicerecords.com. Both of these are expected to ship in July. Last week I mentioned Weird Al was appearing at a benefit screening of Weird the Al Yankovic Story. Afterwards, there was a Q&A, and the video of that Q&A is now available on YouTube. The title is Weird Al Yankovic Talks About the Fake Movie Trailer and the Semi-Fake Biopic. It was posted on the Gold Derby channel on YouTube on the 18th, so you should be able to find that. It was also linked from the Close Personal Friends of Al Facebook group. And finally, Be Amused by Me is now available on Spotify. Luke Ski's album from 2011 is now available for streaming, along with 4th Grade Talent Show and Needlessly Meta. Be Amused by Me includes the songs Platform Wars by Devo Spice, plus All You Can Tweet featuring Devo Spice, and It's Good to Be the King featuring Devo Spice and a few other people, and a bunch of other songs that nobody else cares about. No, I'm kidding. Features Marvel Poppins, the Hanna-Barbera Polka, Sneaking Snacks into the Cinema, Snoopy the Dog, Walking Silly, Fanboy Christmas 3, and many, many more.
Yes.
You got anything else?
Not really. Just is it me, or does Spotify not have a consistent amount of time between when you submit things and when they decide to finally post it on Spotify?
Nope. It's a crapshoot. Sometimes it's really fast. Sometimes it takes weeks.
Yeah, it took a good 11 or 12 days for it to finally hit Spotify. So I was just kind of surprised by that. But yeah. Anyway, that's about it.
All right. Tour dates. On Sundays in Nashville, Tennessee, Steve Goody hosting at the Bluebird. On Mondays online, Steve Goody and Brad Tassel at virtualcomedyshow.com. This weekend, on the weekend of the 22nd in Glen Allen, Virginia, Devo Spice performing at RavenCon. So my schedule for RavenCon is Friday evening at 7. I'll be doing one song during opening ceremonies. Saturday at noon, I have a 1-hour concert. Saturday at 11 p.m., I have another 1-hour concert. And Sunday at 2 p.m., I have another 1-hour concert. And I'm not repeating any songs during any of these concerts. So if you're coming to RavenCon, come to all the shows. On the 25th, online, Carla Ulbrich. And on the 30th, in Chicago, Illinois, Robbie Ellis and friends. And birthdays, coming up on the 25th, Chris Mezzolesta. Okay. Yay. Happy birthday, Chris. All right, our second song of the week is the return of Marian Rosin to the FuMP. Here is Sitting Shiva.
This song is about the Jewish ritual of sitting Shiva, which is effectively a Jewish wake and takes place for a week after somebody dies. Cards and phone calls, people at the door. We've never been so popular before. We're sitting Shiva. We're sitting Shiva. Everybody's bringing over food. Everybody asks what they can do. Everyone's so nice, human kindness is just brimming. And we can wear lots of black, which is really slimming, which is really slimming. We're sitting Shiva. We're sitting Shiva. Cards and phone calls, people at the door. We've never been so popular before.
Marian Rosin has songs available for download and purchase at the FuMP, obviously. Also has a bunch of songs on iTunes and all the other major music platforms. And
making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio.
www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback. Feedback, you know that segment of the show we do about now?
Feedback.
Feedback.
For who could ever learn to love a beast?
Father Beast wrote, since Ookla the Muck has a song this week, I suppose I can ask where I can get the complete lyrics for Welcome to the Con. In particular, I'm curious about the back and forth rap between Luke and Devo. Holy crap, that is one alarmingly real something something. And before someone condescendingly tells me to hit the lyrics button for the FuMP entry for the song, I should note that there are 13 words in the lyrics on the site. Yeah, several years ago, we experienced some database corruption, and it destroyed about half of the lyric entries. And it's on my list to fix. It's just very low priority. So apologies for that. They should have the lyrics online somewhere. I'd be surprised if genius.com doesn't have them. But you might be able to find them somewhere. If not, I can reach out to Adam and Rand and get you a copy.
Let me see if I have it on in my Google Drive.
You do that. I will do the other feedback.
Draconis alert. Draconis alert. Draconis alert.
Draconis wrote, Ookla, how are Ariel and Thundar doing since you left them for your music career? I totally should have brought this up while they were still on the show, but I forgot. Sorry about that. But yes, the reference to an old cartoon called Thundar the Barbarian, for those of you who have no idea what he's talking about. And
my initial searches are not finding the thing.
Okay. And that is it for feedback for this week. So
nobody had any feedback on my whole question about how I should go about keeping people from trolling me on the forthcoming Lutski Top 50 polls. So
oh yeah.
I'll just look around on SurveyMonkey and see what other options there are, and if I have to pay for a month or two of SurveyMonkey to get the options I need, I guess that's what I'll do.
All right. And this.
Teasing. He's a teasing kind of guy. Now you have a jingle.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's song is by Lemon Demon. And Tuesday's song is by Lauren Mayer. And I need a topic for this week's Spotify playlist. Any suggestions?
I was like modern cartoons, since we have a Gravity Falls song.
Well, that's not up on Spotify yet, so that wouldn't be on the list.
Good point.
But I could do modern cartoons. The other thing I was considering was the new Evil Dead movie is out this weekend, so maybe I could do either horror movies or things about Evil Dead. I don't know how many Evil Dead songs there are. I know there's yours. Well, you have Blues Campbell. Psycho Stick has a song about Bruce Campbell. I think that's it.
I found some lyrics in my email.
Oh, from when we were recording the song?
Yeah.
Oh, I might have that too. Wait a minute. Welcome to the con. That would have been a long time ago, wouldn't it?
Come on, all you nerds and geeks, get off your fat feet and get up on your flat feet. Come on now, you herd of freaks. Everybody better listen to the words I speak. Geeks, dorks, dweebs, freaks, and nerds, march together and take up the standard. It's time to make up your mind. Will you join the cause or get left behind? It's nature, it's providence, it's evolution. So come and join the nerd revolution. At the con, we got our Spock ears on. Welcome everybody here. Welcome to the con. Welcome trekkers and filkers and gamers and con-com. And a family dressed as Obi-Wan and Han on a tauntaun. Welcome big fat black guy dressed as Qui-Gon. Holy crap, that was one alarmingly realistic Tron. All you brown coats gather around, yo. We've got a mission and ambition, so let's form a coalition. Zombies on the left side, Galactites on the right. Whovians and Buffy fans, join us in the fight, because we've perused the news and eschewed the reviews, nerd. We've paid our dues, and we are not amused. It's time we blew a fuse and diffused your abuse. Frack yeah, because we refuse to choose to lose. We'll schmooze Jason Mewes and Doctor Who's shoes, overuse booze and underuse shampoos, and our gently used Spider-Man underoos to hide our blues clues and secret of the ooze tattoos. Nerd.
Nerd to your mother. I found the Google Doc that that Rand sent me back in 2011. So what I'll do is I will fix the lyric. I'll just copy and paste this into the lyrics for the song on the site so that they will be up there.
Yeah, because I'm not finding it in my Google Docs. I know that some of the lyrics, like I went in and kind of finessed some of their rap lyrics to make them a bit spiffier, which they were happy about. Like I know for a fact I wrote the line, and a family dresses Obi-Wan and Han on a tauntaun.
All right, so what I'll do is I'll listen to the song, compare it to what I have, and make any adjustments.
All right.
Because I don't know if this is an old document or not.
I'm gonna forward this email to you just so you can have it as a reference.
Okay.
Reference. All right.
Reference. So where do we land on the playlist?
Oh, well, you were talking about Evil Dead and stuff.
Evil Dead or modern cartoons?
I mean, I don't know. I kind of feel like each of us kind of suggests those kinds of things too often. For
I know.
Suggestions. I'm trying to think of something else. What if you what about a Jerry Samuels? Like you could have a whole playlist of old Jerry Samuels stuff.
Oh, I could do that. Yeah. I'll see what's up on Spotify. I don't know what's up there.
So if there isn't enough Jerry Samuels stuff up there, do one of the other two suggestions we came up with.
Yep, I will do that. Or cartoons or Evil Dead. Okay. All right, let's get out of here.
All right.
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spice.
And I'm Luke Ski, and I'm full of windy boasts. Yay!
I don't have the thing here.
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at DementiaRadio.org and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of Fidem Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, shout it to random people on the street, and be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say...